Kia ora. Welcome to the Dunedin Stories podcast series, Lewis.
Thanks very much for having me.
It's wonderful to have you here. You're probably one of our younger participants. Probably not the youngest, but we had an intern last year who we're yet to share his story. But so good to have you here. And you're going to talk about the student hand.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, tell us, Lewis, what is the student hand?
So the Student Hand is an early careers recruitment platform, which actually I started 2 years ago when I was actually doing a labour hire job down in Milton, chopping wood with one of my mates. And I was thinking there's got to be a better way of doing this where we don't have to do the work and we can get someone to do it for us kind of thing. That's what happens when you chop wood for 6 hours on the trot though. But I first created a labour hire business, which is quite similar to kind of the student job search idea. And I was helping second years mainly who had just started flatting get kind of odd jobs here and there for Dunedin residents who may not be able to do, the gardening or putting up a fence, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I was doing that and I thought, this is a great idea. This is going to be awesome. And quickly realised that's not where I wanted to go, and earning $2 on clipping a ticket each hour isn't necessarily an idea that's going to work. So I kind of just put that on pause, took a step back and thought, right, I'll just focus on uni for the moment. And then that's what I did. And eventually it came that time when everyone was looking to get internships and graduate jobs. And I kind of realised there wasn't necessarily a direct platform that offered students benefits. There's job boards and whatnot, which are good, but there wasn't anything that really looked out for students. So that's where the Student Hand kind of the current business model originated from. And I quickly modelled that and remodeled it here and there. And I think I'm on my 33rd business model at the moment. So I'm sure it won't be my last, but there's lots of remodelling happening.
That's great.
And I ended up working up at KPMG in Auckland as an HR intern in their early careers recruitment team, which was just eye-opening. Yeah, it was amazing. And I went to an event with the NZAGE, which is the New Zealand Association of Graduate Employers. So there was all the big businesses from around New Zealand were there, and I was lucky enough someone from KPMG couldn't go, so I got to go last minute. And it was a whole day of talking about kind of their statistics, their tactics, what they think's going to be in market soon and that kind of thing. And they were all talking about how they were struggling to find graduates and interns, and they couldn't find anyone in the market. And then the Auckland University delegate got up and they said, I can't believe what I'm hearing. I've got hundreds of students who can't find work. And that was kind of the discussion that was going on. And some people had hundreds, even thousands of applicants coming in, and some people had barely any, or just the people who didn't have the right skill set. So for me, a student sitting there, I kind of thought, well, it's because there's no platform. There needs to be a platform that connects both. And it's not necessarily that there wasn't a platform. I just feel like there wasn't a platform directed at students as much. So that's kind of where my idea came from. And I thought, if we can get a database full of students from across the country with their CVs, their transcripts, and all their additional employment information, and then we can network with businesses, and they like, hey, yeah, we're looking for an accountant intern or a software development intern or graduate. We can go, oh, awesome, we have all these on our database, and then instead of putting an ad out, waiting for weeks and screening through candidates or not getting a return on the ad, we can then just send a talent pool who matches a job description, and they say, yeah, I want to apply for that job, and then we connect the two. So yeah,
fabulous.
That's the whole idea.
That is awesome.
Tried to make that brief, but it was
it's it's quite the journey you've been on already with so many iterations, and that's to be commended. People often when they start a business are a bit pig-headed about it and stay the course and think that what they know is what they know, but you've recognised that you need to change things up. How many? 33?
33, yeah.
Iterations.
Yeah.
Fabulous.
I've been tried to take that as kind of my mindset is trying to always listen, be a sponge, because obviously everyone I kind of work with at the moment is a lot more experienced than me, but also come across that I have value in my idea as such.
Of course.
Yeah. You ask any of my old football coaches, they'll say, wow, that's a different attitude to what you used to have. But,
well, you've grown a bit. You've graduated. I love the timing story as well. I was lucky enough to be here, and then I was lucky enough to get that. And We often say, the harder I work, the luckier I become. But, that moment where you're at KPMG, you were in the right team, you were offered an opportunity to attend a full day moment in time where you could soak up all this goodness. You were probably only one of a handful of people that were at that moment in time ripe and ready for all of that information.
Yeah.
So it's fabulous. It really is.
Yeah.
And timing-wise, I think I read recently, and it's been the case for a very long time, but only 20% of all jobs actually get advertised. So what you're doing is fulfilling some of that opportunity, aren't you?
Yeah.
Businesses and organisations they don't want to advertise them because it is expensive, but it's also a bit of a labour-heavy job. You get hundreds of applications. You don't want to have to go through that. So you do the shortlist.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, well, a lot of businesses that I've approached so far, a few of them haven't been looking for an intern or a graduate, and then since I've been talking to them, they're like, oh, well, actually, we kind of do need someone to fill this more entry-level role, and it works out not too bad.
So tell me, they are paid jobs and internships and things, aren't they?
Yeah. All the internships are paid.
Excellent.
I'm not sure how many people actually are doing unpaid internships at the moment.
Way too many.
Way too many, yeah.
Yeah, way too many. We do not agree with that whatsoever.
Yeah, neither.
If you're looking for somebody to add value to your organisation, then, hey, the value needs to be rewarded, doesn't
100%, yeah.
Good, we're on the same page.
Yeah.
So you've graduated. You graduated in marketing and human resources.
Yes.
Pretty helpful for what you're doing with the student hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been interesting kind of taking that theory and then applying it in a practical sense. I think there's a lot of stuff that I probably remembered or memorized in my head from university that I didn't actually understand to a full extent as
Until
such.
you can actually put it into practice.
Yeah, running or starting your own business is kind of like, whoa, there's all of this actually does apply to.
Drinking from a fire hose is the old person saying.
Yeah,
and I think that's absolutely true today. Yeah. Is there any bumps in the road that you want to share? I mean, it's all very positive. You've had all these incredible opportunities and timings, but what's been a lesson?
It's always, I think, taking initiative has been, there's a difference between working hard and then working hard whilst taking an initiative. So for the last probably 4 months is when I've properly launched and have been getting students on board and been reaching out to businesses. But running the student hand solo by myself is, you've got to have 10 different hats that you wear and that you focus on, and it's overwhelming at times, but it's also, you've got to take initiative to actually reach out to people and come up with ideas yourself. And I consider myself not a super creative person, which is surprising being a marketing student and starting your own business, but I often rely on just talking to people and asking for advice and being honest and being, hey, I'm not necessarily, this isn't my strength. What's your opinion? And I think getting opinions from people, as many as I can, seeing the whole 360 of a problem is really, really helpful. But
don't put too much weight on the naysayer's opinion, I will say.
Well, I started cold calling recently, businesses, trying to...
That's not easy.
No, and the first morning, I think I called 100 businesses and 2 receptionists picked up, and I didn't get a call back and no one else picked up. And I made my lunch and just was sitting there like, oh no, what's going on? I freaked out a bit, but then I was like, this is going to happen. You just got to
I think it's more the method, there is an element of all age and stage and demographics now don't want a phone call for some reason. We're all off the talking on the telephone thing.
Yeah, I think my demographic, I'll call my mates and they won't pick up their phone. They hate talking on the phone.
Absolutely not.
Which I think is a bit built into me, but I've kind of had to get over that pretty quickly.
Wow, and having your marketing degree, you'll understand the myriad of channels and methods and ways in which to connect. So,
I've got a whole different, lots of processes that I try for everyone, so
good on you. And you are in quite a competitive sort of landscape, if you like, you know, when you think about recruitment as an industry, but the specialist side of being a student, having that student insight, and obviously the lessons that you've learned from KPMG has got to be helpful.
I think kind of one of the benefits that I'm trying to bring to the table at the moment as such a small operation is that I kind of have more of a personal connection with students, and I can have their understanding as well as the business's understanding of what both parties are looking for, which I think will help in the future when you're looking for an employee and you want someone who has the same endorses your organizational goals as such, and
your
kind of your values. Yeah.
So it's a two-sided marketplace fundamentally, isn't it? You've got students on one side, which I suspect would be the easiest of the two to get the database built up.
Yeah. Students are always, don't promise anything to any students, obviously, but we just act as an extra hand as such. So it's like, hey, if you sign up here, we'll always be on the lookout for jobs. And at the moment, I've been trying to kind of start a kind of resources page for students, so something that helps them in the job search as well. So kind of adding a bit more value to students if they're not necessarily going to get employed, or they're not necessarily going to get an opportunity, which will happen. So just starting those pages, and I started a series called Ask an Expert, where I've reached out to a few kind of recruitment experts or early career experts and just asked them a few questions and posted that, and had some good feedback on that.
Awesome.
The setup's nowhere near as professional as this, but the information they're giving is really helpful.
Well, it's the outcome that you deliver, though, isn't it? It doesn't matter what the environment looks like, or where you're sitting and doing your mahi. If you can deliver the outcome that a business needs, they'll pay you for that. You get a testimonial. Make sure you get those things. You get the proof.
Yeah, exactly.
And then on to your next one. So, and you'll get repeat business if you do a great job.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's the big thing at the moment, is trying to get the first few kind of businesses on board, and then get some validity and some testimonials from it. Because I think a lot of people look at me and go, "Oh, who's this 22-year-old trying to run the side hustle as such?" And like, it's not a side hustle.
Has anybody said you need to grow a beard?
No, not yet. I'm very incapable of growing any facial hair. So
it's often what the guys do, just to add a couple more years on.
Yeah, I know.
Us ladies, we used to get perms and wear really dark lipstick so that we looked 30 when we were 20. But
I have a bit of a baby face, so it's not
don't
helping.
let it hold you back. Embrace it, because it disappears quickly too on the other side.
Yes, exactly.
On that note, bit of a future trajectory. What is the student hand going to look like? And let's say 5 years is a terribly long time in this world. But what do you think? Where are you going?
I'm very ambitious. And sometimes I question whether my capabilities don't match up with my ambition.
Usually ambition's first, and then capability catches up.
Yeah, exactly. So, in 5 years, I'd like to be the leading recruitment platform for students to go to in Australasia. So I want to have, when students are looking for internships or graduate roles, they're able to sign up to the student hand. And I want to automate the whole process. So they have an account, they sign up, businesses sign up, they either maybe have a subscription of such, and then they can look through our database anonymously. So they don't know who the students are, and they go, oh, yep, that fits. Oh, this is some good experience. They click, I'd like to see who that is, and then so I kind of cut myself out of the process as such, but at the moment I'm pretty enjoying kind of manually building it up and meeting new people and learning new things. Well,
that's what I was going to ask, because it does sound like you're going to automate some of what you really enjoy, but you will find other parts of running a business really enjoyable as well.
Yeah, I love meeting new people, and I love learning different practices or different ideas that people have. And it's always quite interesting as a young person, because I haven't really been exposed to the business world or the growing up world as such. You know, people, when you're a teenager and or a young adult, people talk, in different slang and terms, and they're not as upfront with you. They kind of beat around the bush a bit, but you'll meet people in business and they'll be like, no, look, that's shit. That's not going to work. That's why it's not going to work. And then you're like, oh, okay. And they're actually just trying to help, which is, I've learned to kind of love that. And but it's what you need, I think. So it's quite good.
Don't let it wear you down, though.
Business.
It's like, no. You carve your own way. Things are changing rapidly for how the services you're doing, but, every industry is changing so quickly. I'm sure you have got your eye on where AI is going with regard to your industry. Making that authentic and real. We've already talked about making sure that these are paid, so let's make sure they're real as well.
I think there's a lot of different aspects that are kind of what my kind of speeches to businesses who don't hire interns or graduates is. It's no longer, where's your company going to be in 5 to 10 years? It's where are you going to be in 2 to 3 years? And are you going to have the resources or the team that are able to implement those technologies to your business? So that's kind of my sales pitch as well. We've got heaps of software graduates looking to get jobs.
If particularly Ōtepoti Dunedin businesses, if we don't embrace the future of AI and the technology that it delivers or enables, then disruption will happen from next door or globally, and our demand will cease. So that's very doomsday-ish. That's not necessarily the 100% outcome, but hey, let's get with the program here. And
I think a big thing is a lot of people are a bit scared of AI because but most of us probably don't fully understand it, or we kind of have an idea of what it does, but we don't actually understand the background to it. We understand how it might be applied to a certain situation, but I don't know, I think that worries people as well.
For recruitment, having artificial intelligence read CVs, understand a requirement, do the matching, and then fulfill a quota. Yeah, sure, it's something it can probably handle today. Actually, I know it is. But is that equitable, fair, the best outcome for a community, for a business, and for the people?
When I put my HR hat on, I'm like, is this ethical? Is it moral to do this? And then I also think, are you able to use the AI to read all the information that's on paper and actually doesn't take any human actions into account or how someone acts? But
now I understand the combo of you two. It's brilliant. Marketing with a people lens and the harm on people lens from a human resources perspective. Nice. I think you might be in the right industry.
Hopefully.
So, Lewis, you're a Dunedin lad, born and bred, and you're building this incredible business, which is fabulous. So, give us a little bit about your Dunedin story.
Born and bred in Dunedin. I went to King's High School, where I played a lot of different sports, and I think, I had a very good time at King's. I had a really good friend group. I, had some really cool teachers who were quite inspiring for what I wanted to do, and they were all very supportive. So played a lot of sports, which, you ended up meeting a lot of people. Kind of the team environment probably fostered kind of my ability to talk and deal with people somewhat. But lots of sports. Kings, then decided I wanted to go to Otago University.
That was always on the cards?
Lots of my older friends I played football with or older teammates had gone to Otago and they'd said it was a great time. So probably 50% of me was for the social aspect, wanted to go, but I was also I was pretty keen to get out of high school at the same time and kind of always eager to grow up when you're young, aren't you? And then now I'm kind of like,
Did you do a hall of residence or did you stay at home?
Yes, I went to Arona, which was, there's a lot of people there who were just the kind of top of the geniuses and the very, very smart people at but really nice people and really ambitious people as well, which probably helped fuel my ambition a bit. But
it's nice to be surrounded by people that are ambitious, isn't it?
Yeah, it's always good.
Nice. And did you work part-time when you were studying, apart from obviously creating this business?
Here and there. I worked at Domino's in South Dunedin for a bit. Being a delivery boy. So I actually started that in year 13. I think I started it 2 or 3 weeks before COVID hit.
Oh, no.
And,
actually, good.
It kind of worked out really well. I got paid for a month or two after only working there for 2 weeks, so I was quite happy.
And then deliveries were allowed again?
And then deliveries were allowed.
So you didn't have to stay at home like the rest of us?
Which was quite good. Though the last night, because obviously they announced that the lockdown was happening, but we were still open. So I think for last night we worked until about 2 a.m. delivering.
Everybody was like, 10, I need pizza!
10 pizzas at a time, and they were like, it was crazy. Or 10 deliveries at a time. So have the whole back of the car stacked up with pizza. And then most of them, well, not most of them, I shouldn't say this, but quite a few of them weren't right because there was that much volume of pizza getting made.
Yeah.
Dealt with some
You'd
very
be
angry
forgiven,
people.
I'm sure.
Most people were forgiven. Some people were not very happy. I assured them I did not make the pizza. I just deliver. Don't shoot the messenger kind of thing.
Yeah, that's tough.
But no, that was good.
That's a good experience to have while you're at school and carrying it on, though, isn't it?
Yeah. So that was kind of my biggest main job I did. I did a lot of futsal refereeing as well, which is good. Lots of little ones that you're refereeing, so you kind of get good at dealing with with them.
Grumpy
it's more
parents.
coaching, some grumpy parents. Yeah, but no, it was a good experience as well. But,
that's cool.
Yeah.
So when you think about Dunedin, what is probably your most fondest place to go and visit and have a bit of Lewis time?
Oh, that's a tricky one. I just think anywhere on the coast is pretty good, you know. I always like enjoying running to Second Beach just through St Clair. It's always quite nice.
Yeah.
But then, you know, you just pop over to Tunnel Beach as well. It's, anywhere on the coast is pretty good where you can kind of get away and you feel like you're out of the city. But
what about your favourite place to go and have a bite to eat?
Probably, I haven't been there in a couple of years, but if I was taking someone from outside of Dunedin, I'd take them probably to Glenfalloch down the harbour.
Awesome.
I think, you know,
shout out to Glenfalloch.
Yeah, and I've been there a couple of times.
Yeah.
And the set menus and it's just amazing. Yeah.
Not yet, but soon in your future you will have friend groups and maybe yourself, I don't know, but that will end up getting married and things like that, and it'll be at Glenfalloch, so you'll get to experience it a whole lot over the next 10 years.
Yeah. It's very pretty out there. Yeah,
it is. It's beautiful.
It's very nice.
Yeah. What about Dunedin Heroes? Is there any organisations or people that you'd like to do a special shout out for helping you so far with your business or life in general?
There's quite a few people with coaches and kind of stuff here and there, but I have a business mentor at the moment, Chris Mackle, who is WOFO Med staff.
Yep.
And he's my business mentor at the moment, and he's kind of really just so helpful, to be honest, with everything I'm doing at the moment. So, yeah.
And how did you get attached to Chris?
I actually went through the Business Mentors New Zealand website, and
fabulous.
They connected me up, and it kind of works out quite well because he obviously does medical staffing, so it's very similar, not operations, because he's obviously running a much big thing, but
big organisation.
He's a very good understanding of what I need to do as such, and things like that. So
that's great. And did you just take the initiative and do a bit of a Google for business mentors and stumble across it?
I kind of looked, and I was often asking my dad, who he runs his own photography business in Dunedin. He's run that for about 25 years.
Shout out to Dad.
Yeah, shout out David.
What's Dad's business name?
It's davidwallphoto.com.
Very familiar with David.
And he was I was always kind of getting tips off him, but to a sense, he's kind of it's not an extroverted business model as such.
He
does his photos, which are amazing, and then he has his big library, and people from around the world look to that. So he didn't necessarily have advice for kind of more social situations in business, but he had really good advice on, my tax and all the kind of background stuff he was very knowledgeable on. But
his product sells itself.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he doesn't.
You're doing something quite unique and needing a marketplace on the two sides. So shout out to Chris for helping you through that.
Yeah.
No, that's great. When you've started this business and you've gone through, well, it's only been 4 months it's been up and running properly, but what's your experience been with running a business in Dunedin? Do you think Dunedin offers you something unique? I note immediately it wasn't a Dunedin business. You thought nationally straight away.
Yeah.
But is Dunedin helpful in any way, shape or form?
I think there's some really helpful people in Dunedin. A lot of people who I've managed to get in a meeting with, or they've picked up the phone and I've had a chat with, have been really helpful.
Good.
and they've offered, I went to a BA5 networking event the other week, which I got told about by Jo Smelts from Fisher and Paykel. Not sure if you know her, who offered to meet with me and just sat down with me for about half an hour at the Fisher and Paykel offices and said, "Oh, love what you're doing. You should introduce yourself to this person. I want to introduce you to this person." And
that is so kind.
Yeah, and there's quite a few people like that who have just been just really kind, and I think they like seeing someone from Dunedin, especially, kind of creating new business.
Well, Business After Five is notorious for us being 40 plus, and definitely having younger people come and be so excited about their businesses is really important.
Yeah, it was very daunting walking through the doors. I was like, I'm not going to know anyone here. I was freaking out a little bit, and then someone I used to play cricket with, his dad, walked in behind me, and he's like, introduced me to a few people, and I was talking to someone, and then someone I knew was in. It's kind of Dunedin, isn't it?
That is,
you do know people. Yeah.
I do think it's unique to Dunedin from that perspective.
Yeah.
The size we are, and networking can be a little bit scary.
Yeah.
And it's scary for those of us that have been doing it for years sometimes.
Yeah.
So do understand that you're not alone in that feeling. It's probably half of the participants in that room are thinking, do I belong here?
Yeah.
You do belong there. You really do. Well, I'm really excited for what you're up to, Lewis. I think your tenacity, your interest in doing something that's not going to be easy, but you're already succeeding at it. Go you. It's fantastic.
Well, thank you very much. I really appreciate those kind words.
No, you're welcome. Is there anything else you'd like to share with the Dunedin Stories community? So maybe how they find you and how they can help you, if there is ways they can do that?
Yeah, so I have a website, which is thestudenthandbook.com, and that has most of the information about what I do. Probably needs to be expanded a bit further now. But yeah, if you are looking for an intern or a graduate and you want to have a quick solution to that, and we can connect you with a talent pool, and we say 48 hours actually, so
quick turnaround.
Yeah. Get requests, can filter the whole database, so just filter it by what people need.
Nice.
Get on the phone to students. Hey, we have this opportunity, and
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Well, all the best, and I'm sure that we will see you again.
Awesome. Thank you very much for having me on.
Cheers.
Cheers.